Hi everyone, in this video I'm going to show you how to make a realistic shadow like this in Photoshop. So this is the original photo before removing the background. I will cut out the background and replace it with this wall background image, and I will make the shadow of this model partly exposed to the floor and partly to the wall, and then darken some areas around the model and the floor so that the shadow looks realistic. Alright, to get started, drag your background image onto the empty area of this panel. It will make a new document tab. Then drag the subject image onto the canvas and click this check mark. Then go to select and mask. From here, you can always change the view mode to get a clear sight for you. Here I select the on layer view mode. Then click select subject. Refine here. You might also want to change the view mode again to inspect if there are still background pixels leftovers. You might also want to adjust the global refinements for a smooth edge. And compare between the decontaminate colors is checked and isn't checked. In this demonstration, I don't check the decontaminate colors and select output to new layer with layer mask. Click OK. Now the background has been changed. This layer is after background removal. Now we are going to make the shadow. Press and hold the Ctrl key while clicking the subject layer mask to make a selection around the subject only. Then add a new layer. Make sure the new layer is selected. Go to Edit, Fill. At this drop down, select black and click OK. Press Ctrl D to remove the selection. You can either delete the original photo or just leave it invisible because we already have the subject layer with transparent background. Now place the shadow layer under the subject layer. So when it comes to adjusting the shadow position, firstly think about where the light source comes from and imagine what the light perspective will be. If the light comes from the sun somewhere from this side, the light perspective will be parallel. Now we are going to change the shadow's perspective. Select the shadow layer, go to Edit, and select Perspective Warp. Here I block around this part for the shadow area that will be exposed to the floor according to the light perspective, and block the other shadows part that will be exposed to the wall. Then click Warp. Adjust the shadow perspective according to the background surface. And click this check mark. Now reduce the opacity to 50%. Then we are going to make a gradual blur for the shadow. Make sure the shadow layer is selected. Then go to Filter, Blur Gallery, and select Fill Blur. Position the first blur point exactly to the subject edge. Change the blur amount to around 5 pixels. And the second blur point to around 25 pixels. Because this is a wall, I set the last blur point to 25 pixels as well. Again, the first blur point is 5 pixels because this is a floor, and the second blur point is greater, which is 25 pixels. If you are done, click OK. Now I'm going to make this area a bit darker. Add a new layer under the subject layer. Activate the brush tool and select the soft round brush. Use the square bracket keys to increase or reduce the brush size. Make sure the foreground color is black and brush around the area that you want to make darker. change the opacity to 50%. Next, add a new layer again and place it above the subject layer. I'm going to dim a part of the subject area around here, so I make it as a clipping mask for the subject layer. And brush this area with black, and also around here. Then change the opacity amount to 25%. Once again, if you want to add additional shadow, brush the second shadow layer with black. And if you want to reduce the light intensity around the subject, brush the subject's clipping mask with black. You might also want to add a gradient to the shadow, so select the shadow layer, make a layer mask for it, make sure the layer mask is selected, activate the gradient tool, select linear gradient, and select the black and white preset. Make a gradient something like this. Now, because this is a wall image, I'm going to make the light intensity equally around the wall instead of a gradient. So select the wall area, make sure the layer mask is still selected, then go to edit, fill, select color, pick the gradient color from the edge of the wall, and click OK. Press Ctrl D to remove the selection, and here we go. That's how to make a realistic shadow in Photoshop. Thanks for watching this video, and until next time.